Okay, welcome back. Another episode of Doobie and Pins again with your hosts, Jen and Rob. And we're going to just give our ideas or thoughts about the movie Odyssey. We went to go see it last night.
Oh, that's what we're talking
Yeah.
about today?
Yeah, so from the gate, what just overall, what would you give this movie in terms of
What do you mean?
like
Is there like a scale or something we're
I
using? Like, what
mean,
do you
I
mean?
don't know if you want to do thumbs up, thumbs down. That seems a little too simple for this, or just like a out of five, a Rotten Tomatoes percentage. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it was a good movie. It wasn't a great movie. Um, I think the first 30 minutes of it we could have done without,
Okay,
right?
you know what? I honestly am trying to remember
Exactly.
the.
That's exactly my
I'm
point.
trying to remember how it began.
Right. The beginning was just his son. It
Oh,
was just all about the suitors and stuff and
yeah.
the
There's gonna be a
drama.
lot
It's
of
like a
spoiler
like
alerts
a
in this
like a
because
soap
we're
opera
yeah.
type of thing.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, once it started, but again, that also leans to my preference for action movies,
Yeah,
or at
that's
least
true.
movies that
Yeah.
have things going on. So for me, it started quite slow.
What do you think? You say that it wasn't a great movie, it was a good movie. What do you think it missed? Is there something that just a little bit that could have made it into a great movie for you, or it would have been too much to change?
Um, I don't know. I think it. I mean, I know it's one of the great stories in history. Not a historical story, but like of mankind. It's considered one of the great stories, but I didn't find the story incredibly captivating.
You
You
know
know,
what? It's funny you say that because well, first of all, I know we did mythology. I want to say that was like my freshman year in high school. And I'm sure we covered this, and I just remember thinking that story was the most boring. I always thought Greek mythology and period was rather boring. I don't know if it's because it was just so long,
well, I think it's kind of
but I
boring
have
because
very
it's
little
just the
memory.
earliest like religion, right? Greek mythology was just used to explain or to reason things about our world that we couldn't explain then,
Yeah,
right? Like so I think Greek mythology is best told in fable format, small short stories,
yeah.
right?
Versus trying to combine two epics, the Odyssey and the Iliad.
Or whatever it was, into like some 8 hour, drama piece that, man, like but again, that's just, I guess my opinion sitting there. I found myself during the movie, I guess, thinking more about what's the big deal about this movie, whether it was the talk of the production quality or the all the controversy over the nothingness of a few characters. You know what I mean? Like again, I just wouldn't call it a super captivating film. But again, I mean that's just my opinion, and I
Well,
know what
I
my
do I
opinion's
believe
worth.
I do think the scenes were done very well. Like the whole scene with the giant, like all of those
Yeah, there
scenes, I
was
thought
some.
they were
So
very
yeah, there was
done
some
very
good.
well.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I said. Once the movie got started, and I think that was when it started for me. Like when they were started to visit the different islands of the gods
Hmm.
and found themselves dealing with um, that trouble that they found that they were warned against. That was yeah. I mean that was done well. Like it was a well directed and produced movie. I guess the story itself just isn't, for me,
Yeah.
isn't super enthralling.
Well, maybe it is just the overall. story and what do you do with it. But the promotion of this movie, positive or negative, really, I think, really outdid the
But
performance of the movie as
but
in
isn't that
itself.
all movies, especially
No,
now, like
there are
especially
some movies that
nowadays
live up.
when no, I mean just in general, like nowadays
Think
because movies aren't that
name
going to the movies isn't that big of a deal anymore because it's streaming. So now the idea of like these crazy trailers that get billions of views and this had the most views and then Spider-Man's trailer had more views than this and then I'm sure somewhere in there is the new Avengers movie is going to have more views, right? Like there's a lot of hype because they got to get people to go to the movies because
Yeah, but
people don't
some
go to the
movies
movies
actually
anymore.
live up to that hype.
When's the last time you saw a movie that lived up to the hype? That you can be like, yo, I could not wait to see that movie. And when I left the theater, I was like, yo, this was the greatest movie. Like it lived up to the hype.
Huh. Probably one of those Star Wars, I mean, Spider-Man. Though that the Spider-Man movies in general have been pretty good.
Yeah, but are you saying that because I just mentioned Spider-Man?
No, I mentioned it
No, I'm talking about
because
living
one
up
of the
to the hype.
previews was Spider-Man.
One of what
The
previews?
one we went to go to the movie last night.
I know,
One
but I'm
of,
talking
is the
about
one coming out.
before, like that's what I'm saying. Like, so you're saying Spider-Man because that's fresh in your mind, but like, what's really the last time? Like, think of the last few movies we went to
We
see,
went to see Sinners,
right? Which what you thought was great, I thought was just a different vampire movie.
right? And then Avatar.
Ah,
The last Avatar was again. It was maybe it's the storylines.
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. But I'm trying like, what's the last movie you remember being super super hyped, and you went and saw it and was like, yeah.
I mean, we don't really go to the movies like that.
Exactly. That's why they have to put more energy and put more into the social media and all that shit to get people to go to the movies. So I think most likely movies aren't gonna live up to the hype because you know what I mean? Like what there's very few
Okay, well,
there's very
name
few original movies anymore.
name a
Original
movie.
storylines.
Name any movie of any time that you would say, hell yeah, I would pay to see that in the movie theater if I could see it for the first time again.
The Matrix.
I'll give you that.
Right. Right, that was a movie where you walked up out of there like it changed the
It changed
game.
the game. That
Right, it changed the way you look at things. But like, I mean, how many? If you did think about the previews last night, most of the previews were not a remake, but I don't even know what you want to
the
call it.
idea is not
Yeah, there's no
original. It's just a
originality
different spin to
anymore,
it.
right? Like the
Well, that's
the
why I
movies
said
there was 2 movies last night previewed with dogs.
I do think that one with Brad Pitt is going to be a killer.
I think it's
And
gonna
I
be a
think more
dud.
because of what they go through.
But I think it's gonna
Be a lot of like
it's Call of the Wild, right?
I suppose.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not
That one coming out with Tom Cruise and Goodman.
right. That might be unique, right? But I also don't think you're gonna leave the movie. We'll see how much hype there is. Like what we were just talking about is the
But
hype.
I think you know what? Speaking of hype, I think that's why people are often taken aback by the movies that end up as Oscar nominees, and what wins is because there's this hype around a movie, and you're like, wait a minute, that should have been, and then it ends up being these other movies you've hardly ever heard of because they're better movies
Oh,
that
yeah.
just really didn't get promoted like that. Just see, like you said, let's see the promotion for those movies. There might not really be a big.
Well, it's because
to-do.
they don't cost as much to make, right? Like those indie films that end up being, Oscar winners or whatever those awards are called. They're not, like huge budget movies, right? Like this Odyssey movie probably cost a ton to fucking make. So you got to make sure you get people to go see it.
Yeah.
right? So you pay people on TikTok and on YouTube, whatever, to hype it up and get people to, oh, I just went and saw Odyssey, da, da,
But
da,
with
da,
the,
da, da,
yeah,
da, like all that, right? To
yeah.
drive people to the theater.
Going into the Odyssey, I did not recall, and I enjoy going into a movie having absolutely no idea what that movie is really about or the backstory to it, just so I can kind of go in blind. And so, sure, I know of Athena and I know of Odysseus, and who doesn't, and the Trojan horse and all that.
Yeah, but that's not, the Trojan horse isn't even part of the Odyssey.
Is it the Iliad then?
I
I don't
don't know
know,
for
but
sure,
it's
but
it's
I'm
a
pretty
thing.
certain it's not.
Um, but either way, a point that you made, I think it's crazy that there were, so many people up in arms about the casting of certain characters. Where to use that, first of all, this is all fictional.
Yeah, it's all make believe.
It's all make believe, and the fact that someone or anyone would believe that there's a one-eyed giant, some crazy ass thing. I don't even know what that thing was that can come out of the side of the mountain and just grab you. It's a gigantic looking arachnoid with all these arms. You believe that, or you believe some chick can turn humans into animals, but you cannot believe that Helen of Troy could have been any color woman on earth. She could have been fucking purple if that's what we wanted her to be. Because all of this, or a lot of the movie, was really just fictional.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Shit to begin with.
there is part of that, but I really, I can't help but think that all of that was just, again, I guess the term is clickbait or something, where
That's been, but we said
Whether
that's
it's
been
Elon Musk or it's this person, Jimmy Joe Johnson or whoever. If I want to get attention, I want people to like or comment on my social media post. I have to find something to say, and you go watch that movie, and again, it's not a terribly awe-inspiring creation or whatever. You literally sit there and you look for, what can I pick out of this movie that's going to get people to watch my TikTok or my post and comment. Like it's what's going to create drama. And so they picked out the fact that Helen of Troy and her twin sister were black, and that the one kid from Stranger Things played a character that isn't even really in the Odyssey. I don't even know, right? Like, fact check me. I'm sure the world will fact check me, but who gives a shit, right? Like, they were such insignificant characters in the film. Like, as far as time on screen, impact to the overall story, but they were also the only things you could really take out of that movie and create a post about that's going to get people to react.
right. Yeah. Yeah. But I think there's always been there are a lot of movies, even without social media in the past, where the casting of a character was sort of questioned.
Like what?
And what I mean, even if you turn around,
Like
here's
what?
what's hysterical is if you go back in time, Hollywood never casted anyone who wasn't white.
Yeah, whites
For
used
all,
to
because they played all kinds of
play
characters. They
Indians.
were Indians,
Yeah,
they were Hispanics, they
yeah,
whatever needed to be done.
yeah.
They casted a white person, and that was never in question, right? No one ever
Yeah,
cared.
but was it ever? But I don't know that it was ever that big of a deal before social media. Like
No, I disagree with you. When Pete, like I said, it was I don't. It was there was always questions about maybe
what movie? Name a movie that was like like across the board controversial, that they had a particular person playing a particular character because of their race or gender was not what people thought it should be.
I'm pretty sure um um it was the Selena
So
Is that her name?
I think you mentioned that the other day, but who gave a shit? Like
What do you mean?
like who cared? Like who cared that J Lo played Selena? Like who was up in arms about that?
I think that
Like
that
I had
you
never heard that before you mentioned it.
that's because you maybe it's because you didn't care because it wasn't, well, you wouldn't have cared anyway, but um if you want, I'm telling you, it's because I should know this, but I don't, because I'm not um I was not a Selena fan.
Right, but Selena's
um
Mexican and J Lo's Puerto Rican. Is that the problem? So Mexicans were upset that they had a Puerto Rican play, or is it because J Lo's
yes.
not that talented? No, I'm saying,
um
I mean, J Lo's a pop star and everything, but I'm saying, like, were people upset that J Lo isn't as, like, couldn't sing as good as Selena, or was it because she was a different Hispanic
I
than
think it
Selena?
had, well, it could have been a combination, but it was because yeah, to your point, Selena was Mexican
See, but that's what I'm saying. I would argue
and
that
J
like,
Lo
but
was is
I
Puerto
think if
Rican.
we went and asked 100 people that weren't either in like South Texas or South California, right? How many people would know? That's what I'm saying. Like that sounds very like niche and maybe regional based criticism. I'm talking about something like, again, that created so much clickbait controversy as Helen of Troy
Well,
being black.
everything is like, to the point, everything is going to be hyped up nowadays. To your
Right.
point,
So how
because of
was it
social
ever right?
media.
So if it wasn't for social media, would this even be a big deal? Because were things like this ever a big deal? Like,
I
because
mean,
I
I think
can't think
it
like,
was fun. After watching the movie, it's almost comical that this was a big deal for two reasons. Number one, again, you believe all you would rather believe, to your point, you would rather believe that there are giants
and witches
and
and shit,
witches
right?
and Poseidon, all this stuff. You believe in all of these gods or whatever that I don't we
Then the most
understand are not
beautiful woman
real.
in the world could be black.
Right.
Right,
And
yeah.
but yet you could not believe that, right, the most
Well, they
beautiful
didn't,
woman
but
in the
it's
world could
also,
be
but
black.
that's what I'm saying. But here's the
And
thing: it's again when I say it's all clickbait because Athena was played by that one girl.
but
What's the girl's
second,
name?
so one is that, two, these characters weren't a big part of this movie. You know what I mean? Like it's not like Lupita playing Helen of Troy was like the whole movie.
Right, I
You
know. That's what I'm
definitely, for
saying.
all people who are like, oh my God, there's no way about it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say, for the most part, out of a 3 hour movie, I saw white faces.
Oh, I mean, there was a lot of diversity,
I mean,
like in his
but
crew and
yeah, I
stuff, like
mean,
amongst the, not a
no, it wasn't.
ton, but it was enough, more than you would expect.
Yeah, but either way, what I'm
Um,
trying to say is what was she, how much screen
But
time
that's why
did
I
she actually
said
have?
it
10 minutes,
wasn't,
five
does
minutes?
anybody really care? And even do the people
I think
who
that's always the
posted it,
issue. Is
it's
even
just
even I didn't
clickbait.
see the movie Selena, but I'm pretty sure that Jennifer Lopez did a
But
good
but
job.
I'm pretty sure the
So you
only
get
people who cared in that scenario were people who felt that they had like a connection to Selena through her music or through
well, that's a
culture
lot of people.
because she was a real person. And they
That's a lot
probably
of
wanted
people.
her, but they probably wanted her to be, it's not that many. It's like
What?
inconsiderate. If you look at the totality of people, it's probably, it's not like most half of the population.
So because of that,
Like I couldn't
it's
tell you a Selena
insignificant.
song. No, I'm saying it's not even really comparable because Selena was a real person who really connected with people who liked her music, and that was not a huge, like she wasn't
Okay, if
like
we're talking about
top 40 hits. You know what I mean? Like
maybe
American
not.
Billboard chart. Right. It was regional and cultural. And so people, whoever took offense, I don't even know if they really did, maybe it had more to do with J Lo's performance in
Okay,
the movie, not what she looked like.
okay. So if we're going off of what you're saying, black people make up a smaller percentage by far in America than white people. Yes. So are you saying that who would care what the casting was for a singer who was a Motown hit record maker for just the black community. White people don't give a rat's ass about this person. They were not pop music or whatever. You're saying based on your logic,
Yeah.
who cares? You could choose whoever to
And
play
only the small
to play the
portion.
likes of a Ray Charles.
Ray Charles is huge. Ray Charles is transcended. Like white people like Ray Charles too. That was a bad example.
Well,
You needed to pick somebody who people haven't really heard of, and I don't know who that is. But my answer is
what
yes.
I'm trying to say is a lot of
My
people have
answer is
heard of Selena. Are you
I
saying that
don't.
it's different because her music was in a different language?
No, I'm saying it's different for several reasons. One, real person had real connections with real people, culturally and through music, and again, it was not mainstream popular and controversial. It was controversial to only a small group of people, comparatively speaking,
Okay.
and a real person who could really sing and dance and shit. So maybe people were upset that the performance was trash compared to what Selena really did. They thought it was a poor representation of Selena. Either way, the point is I just don't know. And again, I'm not a film aficionado or expert, but I would be curious to know how often or how many times in the last 30 years there has been emotional backlash about who was casted to play a particular character. I don't think, like I said, I don't even think the people who really brought up these objections gave a shit about Helena Troy being black. They just knew they could get people to click on their fucking post and to comment and to get 5,000 a million reactions or whatever and draw traffic to their shit. Like it's just not real.
So
It's
you don't.
it's
So you
social
don't
media
think
driven.
think
It's
of.
not.
You don't think that just racism alone. You don't think that there are people who are saying that I'm not going to see this movie
No, they're
because I
gonna no.
can't believe they
No,
they
no,
cast.
no. Because again, Helen of Troy is not real, is not a historical figure, and most people, the average person, probably doesn't even know the fuck Helen of Troy is. Most people are not educated.
So
If
then
we
they
went,
wouldn't see this movie anyway. Are you saying that
exactly.
there's just a whole group of people that this movie wasn't for anyway?
Yes, most people.
Well, that's any movie.
Okay, exactly. That's why I'm saying for me, it just all the hoopla comes back to just the social media, the grasp that social media has on society currently, and what people, the hot takes and the crazy dumb shit people will say to get traffic to their shit so they can get sponsors and make more money. Like I don't believe the hype. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think
Okay.
people were talking about this shit at work. Right? Like, it's
Yeah.
not like,
Okay. Okay. Well, um, yeah, I don't know that I don't think it's gonna be I don't even know what it takes to be a blockbuster
I mean, it's
anymore
going
in
to be
terms of.
because of the hype, because of the hype machine and social media. It's going to draw people to the theater for the next month every weekend, and it's going to make, as much money as the Michael Jackson movie, or, and then Spider-Man is going to come along and knock it off, and then the Marvels is going to come along. Like, all of that is going to happen because of the investment made into
The promotion of it.
ensuring that happens. But how many people are going to watch that movie again,
That's true.
right? Unless they walk up out of the movies and they're like, because I went and saw it in IMAX and I was uncomfortable as shit and it was overly loud, I missed a lot. So I want to watch it again when it comes out and see what I missed.
Is that how you felt?
Yeah, I was more, during that movie, I was more like
I
uncomfortable.
was pissed that the theater wasn't the type of theater I thought it was going
Both
to
said
be.
it in the description. But during the movie, that's another way I would say that the movie wasn't so good, is because it didn't distract me from being uncomfortable in the movie. Like, it didn't distract me from the setting, from the movie theater itself. right? Like my knee was kind of bothering me because I
I
couldn't really
mean,
stretch my knee out. I don't like all that the noise, like the noise
vibrating
in my
your
seat.
seat.
It wasn't impactful. It was just loud. And right, so the movie was. That's what I'm saying. Like that's another way I would judge whether or not I thought the movie was great is because I thought about that shit for 3 hours.
Hmm. Yeah,
And it's
I
funny because
did
the
see you
dude
rubbing
next to
your
me
knee.
seemed uncomfortable as
Yeah, he
shit
kept
too.
sitting forward.
Right,
Yeah,
and leaning back and
yeah,
trying to feel
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And he wasn't like
The
some
first
like
time he leaned forward, I was like, man, this dude's really into
no,
this. And I was
and he
like,
wasn't like my 600-pound life, so he was like uncomfortable in the seat. He
right.
was like a skinny
Yeah,
regular
right.
dude. He was
Yeah.
just like this is
That's, yeah.
right. He was bothered. You could tell like every time he sat back that rattling of the seat because it wasn't like it was enhancing the movie. It was just
Loud.
noise.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, if the movie would have been great, I'm sure I wouldn't have even.
So do you think do you think a different setting, a different theater would have changed that experience? Like, in other words, if we could have been in the one theater where the seats do recline and you
Right, the
could put
Dolby,
your,
this shit
yeah,
right across the
we
hallway.
should have just done that one.
Right, yeah. No, I would have been more comfortable, but it wouldn't have made the movie better. I'm just
Yeah,
saying if the movie was great, I probably wouldn't have been, because I would have been
into the movie
right
more. Yeah, yeah,
captivated
yeah.
by the special effects or by the story or by the action sequences to a point where like I'm engrossed in this thing and I'm not thinking about the flies, right? I'm not
What?
distracted, but I was absolutely distracted by the flies.
Yeah, I understand. What?
People got up and went to the bathroom.
I had to.
Not just you, people, the whole movie. And you know, like people will hold their piss.
I couldn't.
If something, not you, I'm talking about other people. People will
Well,
hold their
maybe other
piss.
people
Like,
can't
people
hold it
will
either.
hold their piss through the previews at the end of movies.
Yeah.
Right? To see like,
And
like
some,
when the
some,
Marvel
right, right.
movies
You
would
know
end and they
something's
would
always
show
gonna
the like
come.
sneak
Right,
preview, like
right.
people would wait and hold it.
That's true.
You
That's true.
know?
Oh, well, overall, okay. What do you think was good about the movie? What was the best parts of the movie? What did you like about the movie?
You can go first while I think about
That is not
that.
funny.
I thought it was interesting. You know what? Something I did think about is I thought to myself, what's the chick's name who played Penelope?
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, she was in the Batman movie, right? In the
believe so.
Dark Knight. I thought to myself, is she old enough to be Tom Holland's mom, or did they just make her look that old?
I mean, it's Anne Hathaway.
I don't know, but that's
Is she old enough to be a 30-year-old's mom? I don't think so.
30.
Well,
He
he
was
was
probably
supposed
like
to be
20,
25,
early
26. Yeah, she's 43 years old in real life.
Yeah, I guess. But that's how good the movie was. That's what I thought.
All right. So is that your response to
I mean,
what
I'm
did
still
you think
thinking,
was
but I'm thinking like, what did I think during the movie? I'm
what
trying to think of like
what I
what
liked about the movie, and I what I liked is that when I said this when we walked, is that I think it did a good job when you say, how could someone be gone for 20 years, right? On some quest or whatever. And when you think about what it took just to travel and not really knowing where you're going, right? Him deciding we're just going to let the sail will take us, whatever the hell he said when he split up from who's that guy, whatever his name was. But like just what it would take. And then they were, and before even that, they were there for 10 years.
On the beach.
On the beach.
Yeah, but they fucked that
So
up. But they fucked
alone,
that
which
up
is
too.
bananas.
No, but they fucked that up because when Spider-Man left to go looking for his father,
They made him get back.
he came back pretty
real quick. And I
Right? Like
thought that was odd.
they didn't do
They didn't do a
they
good
didn't
job.
define the time either way. So it seemed like a quick trip.
For him,
Right.
going and coming back.
Right, when
Yeah.
he was traveling from Ithaca to Athens. I don't know how long it should have taken.
Yeah.
Right, but they didn't really give that feeling like they did with Matt Damon being gone. Like they didn't was he gone a year? Did it take him a year to go look for his father and then come
yeah.
back?
Yeah.
Right? Was it 6 months?
Yeah.
right? So I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
guess
mean,
that part
I'm trying to
they kind of
think.
rushed through. But either way, for Odysseus alone and his crew alone,
Well, yeah, because they were there for 10 years.
yeah,
Then they
and
were on the
then
water. Then after they all
right.
died, he was
And
with
then remember he's with Calypso for
for
what she say,
seven
7 years.
years or something like that.
So that's 17 years alone
Well, then the
was him on
traveling
that
on the
beach. What
islands,
I'm saying is
right?
just them on the beach for
Yeah.
10 years and him with her for 7 years. Out of the 20 years he was gone, he wasn't moving.
So
Um,
you thought the best part of the movie was that they did a good job portraying w that it
the
was
journey.
actually possible back then
Yeah,
in
like
that time
for
that if
what
you went
and
out, you might not be back for years and years and years.
yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, and kind of honestly just saying what was actually going on. Well, not really, because the 10 year gap is sort of just like, wait a minute, y'all were battling. And then what I liked was when he did the sacrifice, and then the dead his all his dead um,
Yeah, his
soldiers came
soldiers.
back just to get an idea of how many people he actually lost. Because you don't see his whole, you never
You
get
don't
an
see them
idea of what
battling.
his
Right, right,
crew was
right, right.
like
How
to
right,
begin
because he
with.
was a general and how
But the
many people.
fact that he had that many people and he comes back alone, he lost every
Everybody.
single person in his crew and
No,
he
that's not
comes
true.
back alone.
People
Oh no,
made
that's not
home. A
true.
whole
Yeah,
bunch
well,
of
yeah, they did.
people.
That's true. And that his
Right,
actually his boy, he
a whole
lived.
bunch of people went home.
But even still, like he came back really alone.
I would say, if I had to say, with the best part of the movie, which is to me like where they where why the new He-Man movie was horrible, was I think they did a good job of making it a period piece. Like the way they talked, their interactions with everyone, right? Like that, I thought that was good.
What do you mean the way they talked? Because I felt opposite. I
Well, I
felt
mean,
like they spoke in a way they did not speak back then.
they didn't speak in the way we speak now.
Uh,
No, they did not. That's what I'm saying. Like that like they did not just talk straightforward, right? They spoke in that, like, I don't even know how to define it. Again, I'm sure someone could fact check me.
riddles.
Not riddles, but in yeah, kind of in that like kind of unclear, I don't even know what it is. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to look
yeah,
it up. But they
yeah.
did not, like in the He-Man movie, he gets sent back to he gets like he travels to Earth and he's in Oklahoma. You know what I mean? And he's like an HR representative. Right? And so that whole He-Man movie, they're talking like you're in Oklahoma. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's just like, you imagine that in a fake place called Eternia in the middle of the galaxy, they wouldn't be like being at, Chili's or TGI
Well, I
Fridays.
mean, that's not a new idea. You have plenty of movies
Yeah,
where
but I don't
where
like that.
a
I
character
think
from
that
another
takes I
world.
think that takes
Spider-Man
away.
is fucking Clark Kent. I mean, Superman.
Yeah, but the movie happens in America. I'm talking about when they take a movie, a period piece or a fictional piece that's supposed to be different than just being in America, and it sounds like you're just in America. That's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
I
And I
got.
felt like that was probably
Well,
the
I don't know
best
because I'm
part
not a
of the movie.
He-Man
I'm just saying, just in general,
person
like
enough.
if I had to pick what was good about the Odyssey, was that they kept true to the language of the Odyssey, like the way it was written. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in that poetic, it had a cadence to the way people talked,
Yeah.
right? They
Okay.
like it was poetic, I guess would be the best way to say it, right? Nobody just spoke
Yeah.
straight up,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Um. No. Yeah. Overall, I'm not upset that we went to go see
No, it
it.
was a good movie. Like I said, like if it was more comfortable in the theater, like it would have been a better time, right? But it was a good movie.
Would you
But I
tell
would
people to
never,
go see it?
no, no, not unless they.
Luck that story.
Right. If you like that story and you want to see it's not the first time that's been made.
Right.
Right. If you go on Tubi, right, Tubi now is playing every version of the Odyssey that was ever made. Right. So if you like Greek mythology and you're into that time,
I'm not gonna
and you
lie.
want to go see it. You know what I
I
mean?
saw it. I went to go see it. The Odyssey, like I said, it's not a story that I'm all that familiar with. I went to go see it because I liked who was in it,
Yeah, it had a
and
great cast. There was a lot of cool, like a
that is
lot of,
simple
like
as
I
that.
saw a lot of dudes in Matt Damon's team that I know from other
Right,
movies I like, action movies that I
right,
like and stuff like that, right?
right.
Like that was, um,
And who doesn't like Zendaya and Tom Holland?
yeah, but even still, like,
Everyone likes Tom Holland and Zendaya.
yeah, I
Even
don't
you
know.
like Tom Holland. Who doesn't like Tom
I
Holland?
like Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
He don't typecast him.
Why
He
not? I'm
can do
allowed
other
to.
things.
Okay, but it doesn't mean it lands for me.
And Zendaya is very versatile.
Yeah, but she didn't really have a big part in the
That's true
movie.
too. Yes, I'm saying another one is that I would say I was actually upset that I didn't see more of her. You don't really see her. You see her about as
Like to
much as you
me,
see.
Tom Holland, like I think he should have like the way that character that I don't even know his name, but Odysseus' son was kind of a bitch. He should have been played by that. Uh, I almost said a word that would have got us canceled. But played by that dude who played the new trash Batman.
You mean vampire guy?
Yeah,
What the hell is his name
yeah,
again?
because he's like more of like a bitch made
Yeah, but I
character.
told you. Well, he was a bitch in this movie
Yeah,
too.
but he was like a conniving type
Still
of,
a bitch.
you
He
know
was
what
the
I mean?
one
Like,
standing by the side talking about get the sword, get
yeah, I
this,
know, but I'm just talking about like because Tom
get the
Holland's
shields, get
character
whatever.
was
Talk about a
soft, and
bitch.
I like, you know what I mean? Like, they could
Yeah,
have
that
gave him a
yeah.
character that had a little more guff. But I
You're right.
understand
Because I
why
was
he
like, come
got it.
on, Tom Holland could have
Right,
beat this
right,
man's
right.
ass.
But he got that role because he's a hot actor
Because
right
it's Tom
now.
Holland.
Right, he's a bit, But yeah, I mean, I still can't think of a particular part of the movie other than like I said, the things I mentioned that I like that I would be like, oh, and the one part was crazy when dot 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 dot. It wasn't really like that. Because again, if you've seen Jack and the
I
Giant
was just
Slayer,
gonna say,
right?
I swear I was gonna say
you've
earlier, if you
seen
want to see a
giants,
giant
right?
movie,
You've seen
right.
giants in different movies. Even those one movies I like were better than that to me. With shit, Wrath of the Titans.
I've never seen them.
Those, the ones with Perseus,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like those, like to me, were better than that movie.
You
But
know,
again, I like action movies. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not the big drama fan, so you can't really take my word for it.
I would.
This is why I don't write
They
reviews.
mentioned Sparta a couple of times in the movie, and I thought to myself, even that was a good movie.
Yeah,
It was called. What was it called? 3,000. It wasn't
300.
300. Beast.
No, it was just called
Just
300.
300. Yeah, that I thought that was a really good
But that's
one.
what I'm saying. There's been other period pieces from that Greek mythology era, right? That stand up. And so that's where I think this was probably more of an artistic,
Take on it.
yeah, more of a, like again, like this is the director's, this was his vision of this story coming to life on the big screen, coming from a director who's made some other huge
Amazing
movies,
movies.
right? You know what I mean? So again, it was like I wouldn't tell anybody it was a bad movie.
But you said you wouldn't tell anyone to go see it.
No, why? It'll be on Netflix in a week. Why go spend $50 to go see it when you can watch it at home? You know what I mean? Because again, I don't know that the big screen added to it. Where like I can say something because again, like Avatar, I may not think Avatar is the greatest movie, but I can see the value of seeing that in the movie theater because of the special effects and the visual presentation, right? That you get with an Avatar movie. Where this movie was kind of dark and drab. Again, it's supposed to be. It's all part of it. I'm not like critiquing it like it should have been a colorful movie. I don't think it
Right.
should have been. But no, I think this movie will come and go and be overshadowed by Spider-Man in a couple of weeks.
Not even a couple of weeks. It comes out in a couple of days.
Even better, you know.
Uh,
And then the new Avengers after that or whatever.
right.
So
I don't know Nolan's work. I didn't realize he did The Dark Knight. Um, and some other movies that I actually he
Inception,
did
Tenet.
Inception and Interstellar, Dunkirk. That was good. He did Memento. Well, wait, that was so when I look at the types of movies he's done, I could see how this falls in line with his take on things. But this Men's Health online thing, they actually rate his number one movie as The Prestige, which I didn't know he did, but I thought that was a really good movie, if you remember it.
Yeah, it's one of the magic movies.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like, would you say that it was what would you call it? What would you say it's an action
No,
movie?
it's a
Would you say
drama.
it's a
That's what I've kept
drama?
saying. It's a drama.
So
It's
it's
a
a drama.
drama.
I thought it was a love story, kind of.
No, it's not a love story.
Drama, love story. Well, there's a lot of
It's more like a drama, like from that period, right? Like you have those period pieces, and they are intended to be dramas. That's why I didn't like that Odysseus didn't die at the end. He should have died
I
at
thought
the
he was
end.
gonna die.
Well, he should have. That would have closed the drama, right? Like we don't need a happy ending in a movie like that.
Does he die in the story?
I don't know. I don't. You know what I mean?
I don't know how that
Right, but I'm
goes.
just saying, like, if you look at how the movie was trending and the feel of the movie,
Yeah, I was when I saw his son walking, I
yeah,
just assumed he was dead. And when I saw him on the
yeah, that was they
oh
could have
yeah,
done without that, right? That in my opinion, I'm not, you know, but no, I would definitely put it if I had to put it in a category, it would be a drama.
drama action.
No drama because there wasn't a lot of action. They stormed the gates of Troy. Like even trying to get like away from the giant, it wasn't like these huge action scenes. They were quick snippets of them like running from shit and trying to escape. It wasn't like action.
I thought
Like the
that
biggest action scene was the end when he fought all the dudes, all the suitors. Like that was the biggest action sequence in the movie.
yeah.
Like most of the movie was him talking to Calypso, right? Well, that's
That
how
wasn't
it
most
felt.
of the
That's how it felt, though, right? Like it felt like most of the movie
was
was that, like, was the story of how he got lost and all of that.
yeah.
Yeah, and and I would have to say the best part of the movie was when he got back to Ithaca, because then it was like Jason Bourne. He was like, "It's on." Right? He rolled up. He was like, "Give me some food." He was like, "This is how we're gonna handle this." And then he went to work. Like that was the best part. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
That's a
most
lot.
of the movie was just drama between people, right? The suitors and the mother,
Is
Penelope
it realistic
and
that those suitors would have just that's some I guess because they couldn't they lived by the laws of
Zeus.
Zeus. Um is that kind of similar to the idea of like what the thing that turned humans bad? You know what I mean? Like this
No,
idea
it's
that
just the
you
end of
broke
one.
Zeus's
Yeah, it's
laws.
just the end of one civilization and the beginning of another, right? Like throughout history, and again, this isn't really it wasn't a historical piece; it's fiction.
Well, people act like
But there,
it's damn history.
like always a point where a great civilization falls because someone or some group of people breaks the rules of that civilization,
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily be bad. I mean, the French Revolution was, the breaking of the way the world had been ruled for, eons around the monarchy and,
Right.
everything having to do with God, bestowed people with certain powers and certain rights. And then people were like, nah, I think we're going to break that rule here and start chopping people's heads off, right? Like, no, I don't.
Hmm. All right. Well, then I guess we say overall, if you like the story line or that you were into the history part, sure, go ahead and see it. But I would say the whole hype about it, good, bad, or whatever, shouldn't. I don't think that should determine whether or not you want to go see this movie at all. If it's just for a night out, or for me, like I said, I'm a fan of the actors. I like Matt Damon.
Yeah, but isn't that
I
why
like
people mostly go to the movies? How many people went to the movie to see how horrible it was that Helena Troy was black? I don't think anybody did. I don't think, you know what I mean?
I think the same people who wouldn't go see it because she's black are the same people who wouldn't have gone to see it anyway. Maybe. You know what I mean? Like, if you're someone who enjoys a movie or and likes the artistic take, especially if you like a certain producer, director, or whatever, you're not gonna not go see that movie
Yeah, again,
because of the
I
casting.
don't think that's casting conspiracy or whatever it's called had anything to do with anything other than social
Like I
media and getting clicks.
target the pick on the easy targets. A transgender, or is he transsexual?
I don't
And
think it's easy targets. I
and
think it's what
a
currently gets
black woman.
people riled up. Like, and race and gender are still such a big
Two of the
thing.
things that'll get
Or the
us
two of the
going.
biggest things on social media are race and gender. So
Yeah,
that's what,
that's true. But which is again incredibly silly, considering what else goes on in this movie.
Is it silly? It worked.
Yeah, it's silly when
It
you're talking
worked.
about fictional
It
shit.
doesn't. It worked. If you have a TikTok or you have a whatever these other platforms
I'm talking
are,
about people who
and
really believe it.
I don't think anybody really does. That's what I say. I would argue if I could have a conversation with those people, they'd be like, I don't give a fuck. I just knew people would click on my
I'm talking
shit
about
and
the
comment.
people who comment or
I
whatever.
don't
Like,
even think they do. I think people on social media just want to be a part of something, so they say anything to get a response and to get a reaction. I don't believe any of that shit. It's all fugazi to
so
me,
oh, okay.
right? Like I just don't. I think the whole space is fugazi. So I don't.
Well,
You
then
know what I
it's
mean?
terrible because I think it overinflates what you think is happening out there that isn't happening.
Well, yes, that is social media. Yes.
Well,
Yes, that is exactly it. What's happening in social media is not happening in the real world. It's happening in that
so
space.
then what do you think about so many people jumping on board? Are you think they're full of shit? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think they just take the bait to be a part of. So yes, yes, absolutely.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, it's social media. I think that's what I
Well,
like.
then that's what I'm saying. So you have the freedom to feel however you feel about it. Why would you choose to
Because
jump on a bandwagon? You could easily comment, "This is bullshit." I like, who cares? Who cares what color she like? You know what I'm saying? You could easily hop on and still feel a part of it and say what you really think. Why do
if
you
you
have
say
to?
something, if
Why
you
do you
say
have
because
to?
if you
Why
don't
would you
say
hop
something,
on and
because
say something you don't
if you don't
mean?
say something mean, then people aren't going to comment on your comment. You're not going to get attention. Social media is about attention seeking, right? Like
I suppose.
if you don't have a hot take or say something controversial, no one's going to listen or comment. So you're just still a nobody.
That's fair.
Like that's it. Like,
I guess. Well, again, like I said,
it's like Fox News. I don't believe the motherfuckers on Fox News believe half the shit they say. They do it for ratings. I guarantee you go to dinner with them, they'll be like, oh man, come on, nobody believes this shit. It's all a game, right? It's how do you get ratings? How do you get people to tune in and watch? It's all about hot takes,
I
right?
guess.
Like it's not.
Well, hot takes. What's your hot take? Final take? Well, we already said it. Uh, I think that again, for whatever reasons you go to the movies. We're not big moviegoers to begin with.
Right,
I
and
think if
people
you
who
are,
are go see
I
everything.
think if you're a moviegoer, you absolutely would go and
I
see
think if
this.
you're a moviegoer, you go to the movies and see everything because you like to go to the movies.
I suppose, but shit, for $30 a ticket, I don't know. Well, I may have been a moviegoer in the past. I don't remember younger being like, oh my God, that's way too much for, not
Movies
way too
used
much
to
for a
be
movie
like
ticket.
$5 and
Right. It was
$10.
always reasonable to go to the movies. Now that's why we don't go. Like for me, it has to be something I really want to see. Or, you know what, not even. Just something to do.
Right, it's just something to do.
Just something to do. All right, well, guys, if you're looking for something to do, go ahead and I say
So
check
that's
it
what
out.
this episode was. It was a review of the Odyssey. Are we
Yeah.
doing reviews now?
No, we're not doing reviews
I'm just
now. No,
asking
I'm
what
not a,
direction we're
we
going.
don't,
Like,
we
are we
don't
gonna
watch movies enough. It was, we don't, we're not movie critics by far. So no, it's what we did last night.
All right.
Figured, I honestly only wanted to talk about it because I think it was bullshit that people spoke so negatively about the casting of two particular people on some bullshit. Again, just a target when where it's just completely irrelevant
Well,
to the
I will
story.
say it helped it helped
That's the
reinforce.
only reason why I chose to talk about it. To be honest with you, we're not doing movie reviews.
All
So
right.
let's recap that. No, we're not
Well,
doing
I'm glad.
movie
Well,
reviews. It was literally
I'll
just
end it saying
because
this.
I think it's
I'm glad
bullshit.
I'm not on social media because I am glad to be outside of that whole
Because it's
nonsense.
absolute bullshit that those characters were targeted for that. I think it totally took away for some people, whatever. It totally took away from just letting this movie be promoted as a regular damn movie.
I don't think it did. I think it probably drove more people to the movies.
Well, bad, they always say
And I guarantee the
good.
first person who made a post probably owns some stock in the production company or something that has a movie, and they knew.
Yeah, perhaps. All right, well, such is life. Like I said, go check it out if you feel inclined. And again, Doobie and Pins with your hosts, Jen and Rob. And we'll see you next time.